Hello and welcome to the Hope Recovery Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Schmalhofer, and this is episode number 74 and the podcast episode for April. The episode today continues the theme of several episodes in the past that discussed various recovery slogans. The episode today will focus on the idea or principle that recovery is simple, but not easy. And so I will present 5 recovery slogans that are related to this principle, the principle that recovery is simple, but not easy. This slogan goes right along with the Serenity Prayer, which is included in this quote from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 357, when it says, "The AA way of life is the way we always should have tried to live. Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference." End quote. Making the changes for success in recovery is not easy. And as this prayer says, it will take courage to change the things we can. The recovery community has a large toolbox of recovery slogans and sayings that all reflect key principles of recovery. One of the things I love about the recovery community is that the church, the broader church community, can also benefit by many of these same slogans and principles, and even that our churches can learn much from the recovery community. These recovery principles are not only helpful for those in recovery, but also for everyone and anyone facing any struggle of life. And these recovery slogans are ultimately wise sayings and valuable principles for life that are simple but not easy. So, slogan number 1 is time takes time. Everyone wants recovery to be fast, but recovery takes time. In many ways, this is just human nature. We all want things fast. We don't want to wait. We want things right now. And that's part of what makes this principle simple but not easy. But it is important to remember that you have much to learn along your recovery journey, the daily work of recovery, whether in a recovery facility or a recovery house or at any other point in your recovery journey. You have things to learn. You need to set and make new habits. You need to build new friendships with others also in recovery. You need to set and protect your personal boundaries. You need to learn to use the tools of recovery. And you need to grow in your relationship with God as well. All of these things, and many more, they take time. The passage from Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 to 17, reflects this idea that time takes time, and that we should seek God's will in our life when it says, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is." For you today, remember that with your recovery, time takes time. Give yourself time to learn all you're supposed to learn right now today. As this Bible passage says, do not be unwise, but be wise, and make the best use of your time and learn all that God has for you to learn right now, right where you are today. Are you ready to accept this slogan and principle for yourself and for your recovery, that time takes time? And then slogan number 2, if you do what you always did, you will get what you always got. Something has to change. You must do something different in your recovery. This is hard. Our natural instinct is to go back to what we are familiar with, to do the things we always did in the past. It is hard to change, but for those seeking recovery, change is critical. For success in recovery, you must do something different. You must make changes in your life. You cannot do what you always did because you will surely get what you always got. In essence, you must leave your past in the past and change your future. The Bible passage of John chapter 8, verses 10 to 11 suggests that change is needed when it says, Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." Jesus offered forgiveness. He offered a brand new life, a life very different from her past life, to leave her life of sin. Jesus was compassionate and offered grace and mercy. But the decision was hers. The choice was hers to make. For you today, remember that for success in recovery, something has to change. You cannot do what you always did because you will get what you always got. Change is hard, but the decision is yours. The choice is yours. Just as in this Bible passage, God still offers you today grace and mercy and a brand new life. But you must do something different. You must leave your life of sin and seek a life with God. Life will not be perfect, but it will be the start of a brand new life with God. What decision will you make? What changes will you make for your recovery? Slogan number 3, recovery begins with the first step. Recovery begins when you first say you are an alcoholic or you are an addict. This first step is very much like the first step of recovery, which from Narcotics Anonymous says this: we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. To take this step and to make this statement is a simple step, but it is not easy. For many people, the first time they verbally expressed that they were an alcoholic or an addict was at a meeting, and it was not easy to do. But for many, it was also sort of freeing to finally make this statement to themselves and to others as well. This is a step of honesty, to see yourself as you really are. Because to get better, to get treatment, to make changes, you must first honestly see yourself as you really are, so that you better understand what changes are necessary for your recovery. Honesty and courage are needed here. And this goes right along with the passage from Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24, when it says this: "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." This slogan and principle, recovery begins with the first step, is likely filled with anxious thoughts and emotions, but it is a step that needs to happen. This may be your first step, to do something different than before, to not do what you always did. For you today, have you taken this step? Have you acknowledged to yourself and to others that you are an alcoholic or that you are an addict? Ask God for help and for courage to search your heart and to help you with your anxious thoughts so that you can take this first step of recovery. God will indeed help you to take this first step of recovery. And then slogan number 4, Recovery is a journey, not a destination. Recovery is a lifelong journey and not an ending destination. Many find this hard to accept. Many do not want it to be a lifelong process, and that is what makes it simple but not easy. It is important to understand that while you will always be an alcoholic or an addict, you can still be successful in recovery, and you can still be successful in recovery for the rest of your life. Someone in our group recently stated that certainly God will help us in recovery, but that we are not promised to have healed bodies. We are not promised to be cured of the disease of addiction, but God has promised to help us be successful in recovery. This reminds me of the passage of Joshua 1:9 that says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Recovery is a journey and not a destination. God will help you to be strong and courageous, and He will be with you as you live a life of recovery. For you today, remember that it is okay for recovery to be a journey and not a destination. Because while you may not be cured of the disease of addiction, God has promised to help you in your recovery journey. You can do hard things as God has commanded you to be strong and courageous. In your lifelong journey of recovery, think of how many people you can help along the way, for them to also be successful in recovery, and even to point them to God as well. And then slogan number 5, 7 days without a meeting makes 1 week. Attending meetings each week is hard, but it may just be what you need to be successful in recovery. This, again, is a simple strategy, but not easy. Planning to schedule the recovery meetings you will attend throughout the week is rather easy, but to actually go and attend the meetings, that is hard. Simply put, attending meetings makes your recovery stronger, and skipping meetings makes your recovery weaker. I encourage you to take time to consider your meeting schedule and then to carefully consider how many meetings do you need to attend to keep your recovery moving forward. As you consider your meeting schedule, I would encourage you to include faith-based meetings in your schedule and even a church service on Sunday as well. Write this meeting schedule down or put it in your phone calendar and then attend each meeting. As you have in your schedule, just attend. Attending meetings are a great support for you and also a way you can support and encourage others in their recovery as well. The passage from Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25 relates well to this importance of attending meetings when it states this, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." A key part of this passage says, attend meetings so that you may be able to encourage one another. For you today, sit down and make a schedule of your weekly meetings for you to attend, and then attend each of the meetings. Attend so that you may be encouraged and that you may encourage others as well. And so let me ask you, how many meetings will you attend next week? And how will you help support and encourage others at the meeting? In closing, let me encourage you to include God in each of these steps. Yes, these recovery slogans may be simple, but they are not easy. Remember that God instructs you in Joshua 1:9 to be strong and courageous and says to you, do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. God will be with you to help you in your recovery and even in any struggle of life. God is a loving, caring, and compassionate God, and He wants to help you, and He will be with you wherever you go. That is what I have for you today. Thank you very much for joining me on the Hope Recovery Podcast. And remember, there is always hope with God. Take care, and God bless you all. That concludes the podcast episode for today. If I may, let me remind you, for more faith-based recovery resources for your recovery house or church or ministry, please see the website at HopeRecoveryUs, where you can find my 4 faith-based recovery books and other resources as well. And if there is any way I can help you or your recovery group, please feel free to email me at HopeRecoveryUs@gmail.com, and I would be happy to talk with you further. And again, take care, and God bless you all.